The original Constitution of India, which came into effect on 26 January 1950, did not include any specific guidelines or sections about tribunals. Tribunals are specialized courts established to resolve certain types of disputes more swiftly and effectively than regular courts. They are generally created to deal with issues that require expert understanding or rather specific knowledge in certain fields. However, significant changes were introduced with the 42nd Amendment Act in 1976. This amendment marked an important shift in the Constitution by adding a new section called Part 14A, which is dedicated to the establishment and functioning of tribunals in India. This section comprises two key articles, Article 323A and Article 323B. Article 323A focuses on the establishment of administrative tribunals. These tribunals were created to handle disputes concerning the service of individuals who work for the government. This is essential for ensuring that government employees have a quick and fair means of resolving employment-related disputes, such as issues of recruitment, promotions, and other service conditions. On the other hand, Article 323B covers the setting up of tribunals for other matters, which can include various sectors such as taxation, industrial disputes, and even property disputes. This article helps streamline the judicial process for these specific issues by moving cases out of traditional courts and into specialized tribunals, which can offer quicker resolutions due to their focused expertise. Moreover, the creation and functioning of these tribunals come under the purview of the law laid down by Parliament. This means that the Indian legislature has the authority to determine the specific rules, regulations, and procedures that govern these tribunals. This framework ensures that tribunals operate within a legal structure, providing both autonomy from regular courts and adherence to the principles of justice. Some examples of administrative tribunals established under Article 323 include the Central Administrative Tribunal and various state administrative tribunals. Meanwhile, for Article 323B, the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal and the National Green Tribunal are renowned examples. The establishment of these tribunals has played a crucial role in enhancing access to justice for many individuals and has contributed to reducing the burden on the conventional court system. In essence, the introduction and establishment of tribunals in India through the 42nd Amendment have been a significant development in legal reform. These changes have aimed not only at expediting the resolution of disputes but also at ensuring that justice is accessible and tailored to the complexities of specific issues that arise in governance and public service. Administrative tribunals in India. In India, the process for handling disputes related to employment and service conditions for public officials is governed mainly by Article 323 of the Constitution. This article allows the Parliament to create administrative tribunals to specifically address issues regarding the recruitment and the terms of service for employees in various public sectors, including the central government, state governments, local bodies, public corporations, and other authorities. Essentially, Article 323 takes these disputes away from the regular civil courts and high courts and assigns them to specialized administrative tribunals. To implement Article 323, the Parliament enacted the Administrative Tribunals Act in 1985. This law established the framework for setting up administrative tribunals, including one main tribunal for the central government and separate tribunals for each state. This was a significant step towards providing quicker and more cost-effective resolutions for public servants who may have grievances related to their service. Central Administrative Tribunal, CAT. One of the key outcomes of the Administrative Tribunals Act is the establishment of the Central Administrative Tribunal, CAT, in 1985. The principal office of the CAT is located in New Delhi, but there are also additional branches located in various states across India. Currently, CAT operates with 19 regular benches. Most of these reside in the main court areas, with a couple having locations in Jaipur and Lucknow. These benches can also hold sessions in other areas as needed. The CAT has the authority to deal with issues related to recruitment and service matters of public servants who fall under its jurisdiction. This includes individuals from the All India Services and various central civil services, as well as civil employees in the defence sector. However, it is important to note that the CAT does not cover all employees. For example, members of the armed forces and the staff working for the Supreme Court and Parliament are not included. The structure of CAT is designed to include multiple members, comprising a chairman and other members. Initially, the CAT also had a vice-chairman, but this position was removed in 2006 through amendments to the Administrative Tribunals Act. Currently, there is one sanctioned position for the chairman and up to 69 members. These members are selected from both judicial and administrative professions, but eligibility requires that they are at least 50 years old. The term of office is set for 4 years, or until the individual reaches the specified age limit of 70 years for the chairman and 67 years for members. The appointments to the CAT are carried out by the central government based on recommendations from a committee that includes the Chief Justice of India or another judge nominated by them. One unique aspect of the CAT is that it is not required to follow the procedures outlined in the Civil Procedure Code of 1908. Instead, it adheres to the principles of natural justice, which helps maintain a fair and equitable process. Applicants filing complaints need to pay a nominal fee of only 50 rupees, and they can represent themselves or hire a lawyer for their case. Initially, the appeal process against CAT decisions was limited to the Supreme Court. However, this changed after the Chandrakumar case in 1997, where the Supreme Court ruled that limiting appeals only to the Supreme Court was unconstitutional. The ruling emphasized that judicial review is fundamental to the Constitution's structure, allowing appeals against CAT orders to be taken to the relevant High Court instead. In summary, administrative tribunals, specifically the Central Administrative Tribunal, play a vital role in offering accessible justice for public servants in India. Through Article 323A and the Administrative Tribunals Act, these specialized institutions help resolve service-related disputes efficiently and effectively, ensuring fairness in the treatment of public employees. Administrative Tribunals in India. The Administrative Tribunals Act of 1985 is an important law in India that allows the central government to create administrative tribunals for individual states, called State Administrative Tribunals, SATs. These tribunals are set up when the state governments ask for them, helping to handle disputes related to government employment. SATs play a key role in resolving issues that arise from recruitment and service matters for employees working in state governments. This means that if a state government employee feels that a decision made about their job is unfair, they can approach the SAT for help. The structure of SATs is similar to that of Central Administrative Tribunals, CATs, which deal with cases related to central government employees. The central government is responsible for appointing the chairman and members of the SATs. These appointments are made based on the recommendations of a special committee known as the Search Cum Selection Committee, which is led by the Chief Justice of the High Court in that state. In addition to SATs, the Act also provides for the establishment of Joint Administrative Tribunals, JATs. JATs can be created when two or more states decide to join together for administrative purposes. These tribunals have the same powers and jurisdiction as the individual administrative tribunals for the states involved. This means they can handle employment-related cases from the participating states, making it more efficient to address common issues that affect multiple states. The Administrative Tribunals Act of 1985 is significant because it helps ensure that government employees have a fair and quick way to resolve disputes related to their employment. This helps in maintaining harmony in the workplace and ensures that employees feel their rights are protected. Additionally, these tribunals help reduce the burden on traditional courts by providing a specialized platform for such cases. In terms of related constitutional provisions, Article 323 of the Indian Constitution authorizes the creation of administrative tribunals. It states that Parliament may, by law, provide for the establishment of tribunals for the purpose of adjudicating disputes and matters related to the recruitment and conditions of service of persons appointed to the public services and for matters connected therewith. This article lays the legal foundation for the establishment of the administrative tribunals, highlighting the importance of resolving disputes efficiently and fairly. Thus, the establishment of SATs and JATs not only helps streamline the process of addressing administrative disputes but also reinforces the principles of justice and accountability within the public service in India. Tribunals for other matters in India. In India, the Constitution provides for special courts known as tribunals to resolve disputes in various areas. This is outlined in Article 323b. Under this article, both the Parliament and state legislatures have the power to set up tribunals for specific matters, which include taxation issues, matters related to foreign exchange, as well as import and export regulations, industrial and labor disputes, land reforms, ceilings on urban property, elections for parliament and state assemblies, regulation of foodstuffs, rights related to rent and tenancy. Differences between Articles 323A and 323B. Articles 323A and 323B are similar in some ways, but they differ in three important aspects. Scope of matters. Article 323A is specifically focused on the establishment of tribunals to address public service matters. In contrast, Article 323B covers a broader range of issues, including those mentioned above. Authority to create tribunals. The creation of tribunals under Article 323 can only be done by the Parliament. However, for the matters under Article 323b, both the Parliament and state legislatures can establish tribunals, provided the matters fall within their areas of lawmaking power. Hierarchy of tribunals. Under Article 323, the setup permits only one tribunal for the central government and one each for individual states or for groups of two or more states. There is no hierarchy, which means no tribunal is higher than another. On the other hand, Article 323b allows for a hierarchical structure of tribunals to be created. Supreme Court's ruling. In a landmark ruling by the Supreme Court in the Chandra Kumar case in 1997, provisions that tried to exclude the jurisdiction of the High Courts and the Supreme Court regarding these tribunals were declared unconstitutional. This means that individuals still have the option to seek legal remedies against decisions made by these tribunals, ensuring a safeguard in the judicial process. Jurisdiction of tribunal benches. The various tribunals have specific areas they cover based on their location. Here are some of the important tribunal benches and the areas they serve. Principal Bench, New Delhi, covers nationwide matters. Allahabad Bench serves Uttar Pradesh except for specific districts. Lucknow Bench focuses on particular regions in Uttar Pradesh. Hyderabad Bench covers Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Mumbai Bench deals with matters in Maharashtra, Goa, and other territories. Madras Bench serves Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. Serves Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. Calcutta Bench addresses disputes in West Bengal, Sikkim, and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Each bench serves a specific jurisdiction, ensuring that disputes can be resolved based on regional laws and regulations. This decentralized approach allows for more localized and accessible justice. Conclusion. In summary, the establishment of tribunals under Article 323B of the Indian Constitution plays a crucial role in maintaining order and efficiency in resolving various disputes related to taxation, labor, land reforms, and other significant matters. The clear differentiation between Articles 323A and 323B helps in understanding how these tribunals operate, ensuring that justice is both accessible and adaptable to the needs of different regions. Through these structures, the Constitution upholds the rule of law and provides avenues for legal recourse, affirming the importance of judicial review in the Indian legal system.